The films in Slaughter Sinema may have been B-listed, but the Halloween Horror Nights 28 haunted house itself would reach A-list status. Slaughter Sinema's status would be solidified even further almost 6 years later with an announcement of a sequel house as Spooky Empire 2024. This is a complete retrospective on the 2018 haunted house Slaughter Sinema. Before we learn about the events of the first Slaughter Sinema haunted house, a quick heads up. This video will be featuring clips from inside of haunted houses which have flashing lights effects and other horror related elements. This is your warning. On June 21st, 2018, Universal Orlando would announce Slaughter Sinema with a YouTube video. The announcement video started out with Halloween Horror Nights branding on a drive-in movie screen, followed by the term Shriek Previews listed multiple times, which was a play on words from sneak previews. A narrator starts to explain what Slaughter Sinema is presenting.
Slaughter Sinema presents a bloody B-movie marathon.
The house video advertisement featured 3 of the B-list films from the haunted house: Cult of the Beast Baby, Amazon Cannibals from Planet Hell, and Pumpkin Guts. More about the B-list films utilized in the Slaughter Sinema haunted house later in the video. After the 3 films are previewed, a pretty sick quote is stated that goes, quote, "When the credits roll, heads roll," end quote, which really foreshadows the plot of the house. The video officially closes with an announcement that the Slaughter Sinema Horror Marathon is coming soon to Halloween Horror Nights 28. 10 films were featured in the Slaughter Sinema haunted house, along with 13 named characters. All of the horror films were fake 80s B-list movies, but what were they even about and which characters represented them in the house? Let's start with the 3 movies featured in the announcement video. Cult of the Beast Baby. Not much is known about this movie, but it's basically about a cult that worships a hairy, deformed baby. The house featured 2 of the Beast Baby worshippers. Amazon Cannibals from Planet Hell, which is about astronauts that crash onto a planet with hundreds of creatures on it. Unfortunately, this was the home to Amazon cannibals who ate them alive. The house featured 3 of the Amazon cannibals. Pumpkin Guts, a film about a man who owns a pumpkin patch in Cary, Ohio, who had a deformed son named Gordy that was chained up. Gordy escapes, harming his father and others. He then takes his victims' heads and carves them like pumpkins. Okay, not to break the 4th wall, but that is actually just insane. Anyway, the house features Gordy twice. The Foul Fist of Dr. Faustus. This film is a bit unknown, but it's assumed to be about Dr. Faustus and Mr. Beast. Okay, not that Mr. Beast. This one is a man dressed like a pirate, which is even more weird. The 2 have a fight with lasers, and the house includes Dr. Faustus. Sorority Sacrifice. Basically a film that is about a sorority that sacrifices another student. Slaughter Sinema includes 2 sorority sacrifice girls in the house. Devil Dogs. A film about werewolf bikers causing havoc at a biker bar. The house features 3 werewolf bikers. Shitty's Kids, a film about kids going crazy at a pizza restaurant. The house features evil kids and the Lizzie Lemmings mascot. Barber Chop, the film is about a barber named Morton Meats who gives awful haircuts. He gets very angry regarding the hate he gets, and he takes revenge. The house features Morton Meats and one of his victims. Midnight Snack 2, The House Swarming. This film is about a scientist who discovers creatures that can't stop eating, and they start to eat other lab workers. The house features the scientist and a giant creature from the film named Fuzzy. Attack of the Swamp Yeti. This film is about a pack of swamp yetis who attack a group of campers. The house features 3 swamp yetis. The haunted house was located in Sprung Tent 2. Outside of the house was the Cary Drive-In movie theater screen. This screen would loop through the various movies featured in the Slaughter Sinema Horror Marathon that you have been watching for the past couple minutes, along with 2 cars parked at the drive-in theater. Guests would start their walkthrough by entering the Casey Drive-In Snack Bar. In the snack bar, a movie poster of the Foul Fist of Dr. Faustus was seen. This poster was actually a sliding door, where Dr. Faustus would pop out as the first scare. The snack bar led into a transitional room where a movie poster of the sorority sacrifice was displayed, hinting to the next room. This would be an overall setup of the haunted house. Each room would be based on one of the films featured in the movie marathon, broken off by these transitional movie poster rooms. The sorority sacrifice was the first movie to be showcased. In this room, 2 dead fake bodies were hanging from the ceiling. To the right of them, a sorority sister would pop out, and before guests would exit the room, another sorority sister pops out from behind the shelves. Guests would exit this room through a closet and arrive to the next room, Devil Dogs. Something I noticed while watching walkthroughs is the movie poster rooms do read off the names of the movies.
Party Sacrifice.
Anyway, Devil Dogs was the second movie guests would travel through in the Slaughter Sinema marathon. In the Devil Dogs room, guests would walk through a bar before they could even pass a chair. A biker werewolf would pop out from the side of the bar. Towards the end of the room, across from the cigarette machine, another biker werewolf pops out from a sheep boo hole. The next movie in the marathon was Pumpkin Guts. This was the one that has the insane plot where human heads are used for jack-o'-lanterns. In this room, guests would encounter Gordy twice. First, as they walk into the room to the right, there's a window sheet boo hole that Gordy 1 jumps out of. Right after this, guests are distracted by a few jack-o'-lanterns, and before they know it, Gordy 2 is behind them swiping his knife. This section of the house ends with a small room filled with fake human heads, which this is still an insane plot, but we need to keep moving. Shitty's Kids was next, and this would take guests into a Chuck E. Cheese style of restaurant. One of the Shitty's kids runs out behind a group of arcade games, and seconds later, another kid would run out of what to assume to be the kitchen doors with a knife. This section of the house also includes a mini stage, and on it the mascot employee is seen pushing off one of the kids who is biting his shoulder. The cult of the Beast Baby room would follow, where guests enter a cult worshipping scene of the Beast Baby. If you've seen some of my haunted house retrospectives before, you would know that this style of room is my all-time favorite, where some characters are real and others are fake. In this case, it's the Beast Baby worshippers. If you walk through at the right time, the Beast Baby's eyes will glow, causing the lights in the room to flicker and the worshippers to turn onto guests. After the cult worshipping, guests would enter the Amazon cannibals from Planet Hell section of the house, which started with the spaceship used to travel to Planet Hell. This part would be short as guests entered Planet Hell. Immediately to the left, one of the Amazon cannibals pops out as she's attacking a dummy scientist. At the end of the room, 2 more Amazon cannibals jump out to the right before they exit into the next movie transition room. Next up would be Barber Chop, which was held in Mort's Meat's barber shop. Guests would first walk by a dummy of one of Mort's Meat's victims, because in the barbershop, guests don't survive their haircut. After this, Morton Meats pops out, followed by one of his victims popping out behind a curtain. After exiting the barbershop, guests would enter the Midnight Snack 2, the house swarming section of the house. This would be set in a laboratory where small creatures are causing havoc to scientists. The first scientist is a dummy that has a creature eating them, followed by a scare actor scientist who runs out to guests. A small room would follow where a giant puppet version of the lab creature pops out. The house finishes off with the Attack of the Swamp Yeti, which is set in a swamp that is also a campsite. 2 swamp yetis would pop out in the swamp area, and the final yeti would pop out at guests at the exit. Now, 6 years later, we get to revisit Slaughter Sinema this year at Halloween Horror Nights 33 with Slaughter Sinema 2. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of the events of Slaughter Sinema 1. If you experienced Slaughter Sinema, what were your opinions on the house? If not, would you have enjoyed the house if you were able to go through it? Let me know in the comments below. Next video will be a retrospective on the 2019 Halloween Horror Nights house, Ghostbusters, so we can have a better idea of what this year's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire haunted house could feel like. If there's a video showing on your screen now, you should check it out. Thanks for watching.